Okay, guys. This is the second time I had to do this tag. Anyway, I hope you all are having a wonderful day. It's been so icy in Dallas and dangerous. I haven't been out of the house in like 4 days, maybe twice I've had to walk to the store. But anyway, that's another situation. This is the perfect palette tag, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Yes. Okay, so the first one is, number one is best packaging. So for best packaging, I have two palettes. I'm going to say the first one is the Too Faced Pretty Rebel palette. The shades in this are great too, but just as far as packaging goes, I think this is a standout just because it just jumps right out at you when you are going to the store. It's not, it doesn't just give you the shadows right away. You want to stop, you want to look, you want to open it. I think it's great. I love this packaging. It's just so rock and roll to me. And it'd be a great gift to somebody. It just, you know, gets you going. So I love this one. For the more contemporary and sleek and modern art people like myself, the next one is the Marc Jacobs. I think that these palettes are so nicely done. Seriously. I also gave these pretty high reviews. Everybody did not, but I really love the palette. This is the Starlet. This one in particular is my favorite. It's got great color payoff, but that's not the issue. The issue is it's so sleek and gorgeous. I love it. It comes in a nice pouch like this. I think this is rayon. It's got the Marc Jacobs logo at the bottom. I also thought that the value of these was really, really great. This is one of my favorite ones. I think the Starlet is great for the holidays, but the packaging on those are absolutely beautiful. That entire line is very, very well done. The next one is best color payoff. So I've got a couple of things here. And I just used some bright color payoffs. I'll get to some neutral ones and some later numbers on this list, if you will. So as far as the best color payoff, like I said, bright color payoff to me are the Sugar Pill palettes. This one is the Sweetheart palette, and then the next one is the Heartbreaker palette. Some of you were lucky enough to get the entire set of Sugar Pill colors in one whole palette. I have never been able to get my hands on one. I do have some other shadows from Sugar Pill, but they're individuals, blah blah blah, doesn't matter. I love the payoff on those. I think they're great. I just wish that the whole thing was more readily available for everybody. And then the next one is the Creative Me #1 palette. This one's by Coastal Scents. These colors, I've got it in my hands, are insane. The color payoff on these are insane. I think you can get this entire palette for like $6, maybe $9 or something like that. The value is insane. It's incredible. The colors, of course, being so bright, you can't use them all year. You just can't. I mean, you can, but you really shouldn't. But yeah, the amount, what you're getting in this whole palette is absolutely gorgeous. The payoff is wonderful. It's very, very affordable. And it's a nice size if you're somebody who's a traveling makeup artist and you want to carry a lot of these in your kits. Coastal Scents has done a pretty good job on these. They're a little weighted, but the color payoff on this is phenomenal. The third one is most versatile. So I've got a couple here. One you're probably going to be surprised to see and one not. The first one I have is the Lorac Pro palette. You guys know that this is absolutely one of my favorites. I do a ton of looks with this on Instagram. I've done a few looks here on YouTube as well. And I also carry this in my kit. This is actually now the fourth one of these that I've purchased. One I went through very quickly. One I bought as a gift. One was stolen from me. So out of my kit, it was stolen from me, so I had to replace it. This is my personal one right now. I love this one because it's got all the matte shadows on the top and all the shimmery shadows on the bottom. These colors work absolutely wonderful on anybody that I've ever put them on, any skin tone. And it's basically got everything that you need in it. It's lightweight, it's sleek, it has a magnetic closure. You can't go wrong with this one. This one to me by far is a 2013 favorite. And then the second one, I don't even think I've ever done a tutorial with this one before, but I know I've used it on clients before. This is also a Coastal Scents palette. This is the Winterberry palette. And I love this palette. Again, the colors in this palette swatch phenomenally. Coastal Scents is a really slept on organization. I mean, I don't work for them. I'm not sponsored by them. But just for the cost, it's one of those things that I would recommend to people who are trying to build a kit without exhausting every dollar that they have. but the payoff is phenomenal. I've never struggled with these shadows. I like the Winterberry palette because it's got the darker palette, the darker colors, the browns, the pales in there as well. They're very, very strong. They're very, very cheap. They're magnetic. You can pop them right out, change it if you want to. But this one, again, $9 I think at the most, if they're not on sale most of the time, is totally worth it. You're sleeping on Coastal Scents if you haven't bought a palette from them. And you can also make your own, which I have about 3 that I built my own. The next one is best for travel. So I've got 2. Again, the Lorac Pro, great for travel, or the Naked One palette. Another one great for travel. I love this one. Naked 2, I wasn't a fan of. I think I bought it and probably returned it, to be honest. But I do love this. Now, there are a lot of shimmery shades in here, but as far as the tones of the color, again, it's one of those palettes that just works on absolutely everybody. You just can't go wrong with it. It does have a magnetic closure, and I like that this is the only one out of the 3 that was not that metal casing. That's weird. Both of the mirrors on these are a little flimsy, but other than that, they're really great for travel. My biggest regret, and I don't even think that I've even shown this one. I don't think I've ever done a tutorial with it. I may have shown it on Instagram when I purchased it, because I so looked forward to it before it came out. Like, I stalked Sephora's website before this came out. And I should have known better, because I always struggle with these shadows. I always struggle with Kat Von D shadows. So this is the Kat Von D Ladybird palette. It is gorgeous. Oops, and it comes with a pencil, which I just dropped. It's a gorgeous palette. I will say the colors in this palette are very, very strong. That was not the problem. This is actually the only palette that she came out with that is all matte, and it works well against the fact that she's got all these shimmery colors in her other ones, right? The downside about this is that while these colors are strong, they swatch very strong, they do not blend very well. They don't feel chalky on the swatch, or they don't feel chalky on the brush. The fallout is not bad, but when you apply them, the beat down is intense, y'all. It's intense. I cannot break down these shadows, and I don't like to have a crease color that I cannot blend out. That is one of my main teaching tools to people. It's like, if you make a mistake, just blend it down. On this one, they're just too chalky, or there's not enough, I don't know there's not enough water maybe in the formula that would break it down a little bit more. And I was just really disappointed, because I do love the colors. I think they're great for fall and winter. Oh well, so see it. Moving on. Best color names. Again, Urban Decay is kind of a standout for me on that. Now, MAC is very good about color names too. There are some very unique things that come out. But the thing about Urban Decay's names is that there's some symmetry in the way that they lay things out in their palette. So like this one says Virgin, Sin, Naked. I'm just saying that the way that they flow makes sense to me. There's kind of a play on words there, if you will. So I get it. You know, I think it's kind of funky and fun. Cautious, but but funky and fun from a naming convention perspective. I think Urban Decay kind of has a lock on that. Number 7, my least used. There's 2 least used here. And you'll know because I haven't done a tutorial with one of them at all, and I have with one like maybe 2 years ago, I don't know. So the first one is the Smashbox Brown Eyes. I don't even think that they sell this anymore. They've got kind of a new setup where they're smaller and they're long or weird or whatever. There's nothing wrong with these colors. They pay off just fine. They really, really do. I prefer that Smashbox makes their colors this large. They've made all of them a lot smaller, with the exception of a summer palette. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Yeah. But I have a lot of these. The colors are just so similar. It's a great palette to have if you're somebody who maybe carries your shadows with you and you want your neutral colors and a dark shadow to offset it. I could absolutely advocate for it. I just don't really have a use for something with just 6 colors in it that are just this common. There you go. So I never got a lot of use out of it. It was about $40 maybe, something like that. And then the second one, collector's item, fingerprints everywhere, the Urban Decay 15th anniversary palette. I actually did do a tutorial with this when it first came out, but you can see that I've hardly ever used it. There's nothing wrong with these shadows. They're absolutely gorgeous, with the exception of the fact that they're very tiny, and I don't like very tiny shadows. They're weird to me. They scare me. But yeah, it's you do have to be careful with it. I know you can take this piece out and use it as a pretty little box. I don't need another little pretty little box. I don't carry it. It doesn't make sense to carry this with me right now. I actually have a lot of these shadows, and they have since been reformulated in other palettes, or palettes that I built myself, Urban Decay palettes that I built myself. So I just haven't gotten a lot of use out of it, but it is a gorgeous box, but who needs another gorgeous box? And finally, number 8. Number 8 has 3 questions in one question. So the first one is the most used palette, the second one is most loved palette, and the third is what palette would you take with you on a desert island? I don't know why these are all in one question, but they are. Whew. So, my most used palette, even though I don't use it mostly on screen, I do use it mostly in life, with the exception. This is for individual use. I don't carry this with me. I think clients would be very upset if I was putting Wet n Wild on their eyes. I don't know why, but anyway. And I don't know why I'm covering that. That's not a mirror. It's the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. I love this palette. I have talked about this, I believe, in my last favorites videos, because I don't do a lot of favorites videos. If you are familiar with MAC shadows and even NARS shadows, there are some dupes of either on both sides. The payoff on these colors is absolutely phenomenal. Put it on top of a paint pot or primer, no creasing. They last all day. $4.99 I think these palettes usually cost. This one has probably got to be the most popular, at least to me it would be. I love these colors. My only issue with these palettes is that they are so fragile. I wish somebody would talk to Wet n Wild about making these just a tad bit stronger. I would pay $2 or $3 extra just to get this to be a little bit stronger. I bought one once and didn't make it a mile and a half home from Walgreens before the whole thing had fallen apart in the back. So you do have to be absolutely careful. I've shipped it to somebody, hers broke. That's the only thing, but I love these. I use this probably more than you guys actually know that I'm willing to admit. No, I use it a lot. It's a great daily use and nightly use palette. My most loved palette, again, is the Lorac Pro palette. Have I been saying Lorac through the video? So because her name is Carol? No. It's the Lorac Pro palette. By far my 2013 favorite. Again, I love this palette. I use it on myself. I can use it on anybody. I mean, color-wise, skin tone-wise, I can use this on absolutely on any client. So, and it just has everything in it that you need. I think you can accomplish 101,000 looks with this palette. And then if I were going to be stuck on a desert island, I know you guys have never seen this because I built it myself. I would take my Makeup Forever palette with me. The shadows are huge. I don't know how long I'm gonna be stuck on that island. And they're highly pigmented. This is one of just a few Makeup Forever palettes that I have because I do build them myself, but this is just to give you an idea. This is probably the one that has absolutely everything in it that I need. I don't use it a lot in tutorials because I don't like taking everything out of it, and it's such a big palette. It's just a job, but I do love this palette, so if I was stuck on an island, I would take the palette that I built myself. Hello? Make some sense. So, anyway, so that's pretty much it. That's not excluding all the other palettes that I have because I probably have 30, 40, or 50, or 70 of them, but yeah, as far as the top, or down, this is kind of what it is. So, I hope you guys like this. You guys know that Google rules have changed, so you no longer can do a video response, which I really hate, and I'm sad. Please let me know what your favorite palettes are below. I am going to tag some people and I'm going to stream their names through here, and then I'll put a link in the description bar below to their channels. I hope that you guys liked this and found that it was helpful. I wish I could tag absolutely everybody, but that would just be impossible. So if you want to do it, please do it and let me know that you've done it, and I can go to your channel and see it if I'm not already subbed to you. I will see you guys on the flip side, and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Bye!